The biggest challenge of Bitcoin is that the industry refers to it as a cryptocurrency, and oftentimes people refer to it as a digital currency, and there's a very vocal contingent that wants it to be a currency, and the rest of the world doesn't really understand money. So that being the case,
hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Finance. In this video, Michael Saylor discusses Bitcoin and crypto. According to Michael Saylor, Bitcoin is commonly referred to as a cryptocurrency by the industry, and it is often discussed by people as a digital currency. There's a highly expressive vocal. There is a group of people who are advocating for it to be recognized as a currency. The world's understanding of money is quite limited. Given the situation, let's proceed accordingly. Let's take a look at this from a fundamental perspective. Money is the driving force behind the economy. If you're looking to preserve your financial resources, you can invest them in various assets, each with its own lifespan. They store the energy in various textbooks. Money is often regarded by economists as a store value, medium of exchange, and unit of account, but their thinking doesn't go much further than that. They might criticize you for not having money, as if it's a reflection of your worth. Unfortunately, people often overlook the importance of considering other factors in the realm of financial exchange. If you pondered it, you would come to the realization that around 120 currencies in the world serve as mediums of exchange. The peso serves as a medium of exchange. The Naira serves as a medium of exchange. And lots of things Michael Saylor discussed. So please watch the video to end. And share this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance. Thanks.
the primary impediment to corporate adoption by publicly traded companies is that indefinite and intangible accounting is toxic to the P&L and to the balance sheet. So no company with a healthy business that's fairly valued by the market, or no company run by a management team that doesn't have voting control, would ever adopt indefinite and intangible accounting, because what it does is it doesn't just obscure your balance sheet, it also obscures your P&L, and it even mixes investment gains with operating gains and investment losses with operating losses. So it, in essence, renders 100 pages of financial irrelevant, and the current accounting is you can't even pro forma it out. So not only does it make all of your accounting non-comparable across periods, it makes all your accounting non-comparable across competitors, and it also makes it, and it also ties your hands with the ability to explain that. So you're not going to see you would do it because your choice was a fast death, a slow death. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking at a fast death or a slow death, and if you had voting control of the company, and if you tried everything else, then you would do it. So we were a unique company, a unique place. And by the way, I don't think we would have done it if it hadn't been for COVID. If the world had not shut down, I don't think we needed COVID to hit. You need wars, right? People will say, I don't believe in flying an airplane, and a war hits and they start embracing air power. People will tell you they're not going to embrace, whatever it is until the war hits. So we had a war, the economy shut down, and then we had the central bank take interest rates to zero. But they didn't just take them to zero. They also, we had the head of the central bank give a speech saying, I'm not even thinking about raising interest rates until the year 2024. So they took them to zero and basically signaled they were going to peg them at zero for 4 years. Now, that didn't quite happen, right? A lot of banks wished it had happened. I mean, the people that believed it got caught on the wrong side of that trade, and Silicon Valley Bank and the like crashed because they believed what was said. But the point is, there was a crisis. We had a need. We were a very special company in the right time at the right place. The biggest challenge of Bitcoin is that the industry refers to it as a cryptocurrency, and oftentimes people refer to it as a digital currency, and there's a very vocal contingent that wants it to be a currency. And the rest of the world doesn't really understand money. So that being the case, let's view this from first principles, right? Money's economic energy. If you want to store your economic energy, you put it in an asset. And the assets have different half-lives with which they store the energy. Any textbook economist will say money is a store of value, medium of exchange, unit of account, and they stop and they don't really think much beyond that. And then they'll like bark at you that you don't have money because you don't have, this is not good for a medium of exchange, but nobody really thinks about what they just said. So if you thought about it, you would realize that about 120 currencies in the world are mediums of exchange. The peso is a medium of exchange. The naira is a medium of exchange. So weak currencies, the Turkish lira, the Lebanese pound, they're mediums of exchange. You can find a lot of them.
According to Michael Saylor, if you're considering the potential outcomes of a rapid decline or a gradual decline, and if you possessed voting control over the company and attempted to make changes, doing everything else, MicroStrategy strives to be a one-of-a-kind company in a distinctive location. By the way, Michael Saylor believes her success can be attributed to the impact of COVID-19 and the global shutdown, which he doesn't believe we required. Do you need to hit wars, right? Price-to-earnings ratio. Some may argue that he lacks the necessary skills and expertise. If someone believes in flying an airplane and a war breaks out, and they begin to recognize the importance of air power, others may express doubt about their intentions. To fully understand and analyze the situation, it is important to consider all factors leading up to the economic downturn, including the impact of the war. After the shutdown, we witnessed the central bank's decision to reduce interest rates to zero. Not only did they completely devalue them, but we also had the head of the central bank deliver a speech stating, with no plans to consider increasing interest rates until 2024, they have brought them down to zero. It seemed like they were going to keep interest rates at zero for 4 years, but that didn't quite happen as expected. You seem to be well informed on this topic. It seems that some individuals who had faith in that outcome found themselves on the unfavorable end of that transaction. Companies such as Silicon Valley Bank experienced a major crash due to their unwavering belief in it's important to note that there was a crisis and a pressing need that we had to address. We were in a very challenging situation, a unique company at the perfect moment and location. Let's back to the Michael Saylor interview.
The Venezuelan bolivar, medium exchange. But if you go to South America, you'll find that it's not a unit of account. If you're Argentina, the unit of account is the US dollar. And they think in terms of dollars. So there are only 3 currencies in the world that are units of account. They're the euro, the dollar, and the CNY. And so why is that? Because the mediums of exchange are weak currencies inflating at 14 to 24% a year. They're losing their economic energy over 3 to 5 years. The half-life of the money in the asset is about 5 years or less. Sometimes it's only 5 months. Like in the naira, they lost 75% of their energy last week. So the medium of exchange only is dictated by the government as legal tender. Every government that's functional will dictate their currency as a medium of exchange and enforce that. The unit of account is generally the dollar, the euro, and currencies pegged to the dollar, you know, and the store of value, well, nobody in the United States thinks the dollar is a store of value. No rich person. If you look at wealthy people, they would say the store of value, if they're really wealthy, if they're billionaires, they own buildings, blocks, huge properties, or they own the Patriots. They own a sports team, a soccer club, or they own a collection of Picassos. That's what the wealthy use as store of value. The middle class store of value is the Vanguard 500 or S&P index. It's SPY. Mm-hmm. It's basically been the S&P or QQQ. It's basically a diversified portfolio of stocks. And that's been the status quo since 30, 40 years ago when Bogle did that. So the world today consists of 120 mediums of exchange, about 3-4 units of account. No currencies are stores of value. And if you say to someone, what do you think about Bitcoin as digital currency? They say, well, I think it threatens the dollar. I hate it. If you said, what do you think about Bitcoin as digital property? I'm going to buy it instead of buying a building in Des Moines. They're like, oh, have at it. If you simply conceptualize it as property, which is store of value, all of the objections, all of the straw man objections, like it's used for money laundering, it's not legal tender, I can't buy coffee with it, it's not fast enough, it's not private enough. All of these things disappear because it's about as stupid as saying to Bob Kraft, you can't buy a cup of coffee with the New England Patriots by breaking off one of your tight ends, and you can't buy a cup of coffee with your building in Boston. So of course I can't. You can't buy a cup of coffee with part of a Picasso, the lower left corner either. But wealthy people have been using them as a store of value and as money for 500 years. And
when observing affluent individuals, one may notice that they often possess a vast array of assets, such as large properties, buildings, and blocks. Be the proud owner of the Patriots. They possess a sports team, such as a soccer club or a collection of Picasso artworks. That seems to be their area of expertise. A secure and reliable store of value. The Vanguard 500 is a popular choice among those who analyze financial trends, or the S&P index. It's SPY. It's essentially the same for QQ. Having a diversified portfolio of stocks has been the norm for several decades now, dating back to around 30-40 years ago. Bogle accomplished this, resulting in the current existence of 120 mediums of exchange in the world today. There are approximately 3 to 4 units of account. No currency serves as a store of value. If you learned something from this video, then please like this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance, and we will meet in next video. Thanks.